Part of the skepticism is that he's not a fighter.
Didn't your car end up in a swimming pool?
Surprise!
And I was just furious.
That's my car, bro.
If he's gonna knuckle up with him, then
No. The point is this: stand there and fight. Come on, dog.
Oh, hey,
watch that.
come in
now.
peace.
Shoot.
Got your hat.
Why would you disrespect me?
Mayweather actually hit him. But in that moment, I was like, God, like, protect us.
favorite heavyweight of all time, bro.
Favorite heavyweight of all time? Butterbean.
Butterbean? He fought Mike, didn't he?
Butterbean.
Yeah.
Butterbean or Butterball?
Butterbean. I mean, he is a butterball, but
like
you
my
know.
turkey.
Yeah.
What about, I mean, favorite heavyweight for
I
you?
mean, listen, growing up, obviously, Mike was like a fucking, it was an experience, right? Pay-per-view for 60 seconds, you know what I mean? Everyone would get together at someone's house.
Well, speaking of boxing, my friend, he trains boxers, and he can also throw a good punch himself. Adan Castillo Jr. Met him actually at my church, but don't let that, he put you on your ass.
And prayer over the fucking body, right?
Yeah. No, I'm really excited for him to come and share his
can't wait,
experience.
yeah.
Let's bring him out.
Uh-oh.
Yes, sir.
Uh-oh.
What's up, my man?
I didn't know what I was walking into.
Appreciate you.
Come on, dog.
Oh, hey.
Watch that
Come in
now.
peace.
Shoot. Oh, what's up, baby? How you doing, man? Good. Thanks for coming, bro.
Don, what's up, man? Thanks for coming back.
Oh my gosh. Have a seat,
Shit,
man.
bro.
Dude, you have such a journey in your life, and I want to get into all of that. You train boxers, you train athletes, you also were part of social media, train the influencers, you're part of that crew, you know. Let's start from the beginning.
So when I first met the whole influencer world, I was a musician, I was a singer-songwriter, came from Chicago. I moved into this apartment building that had the best gym in the Hollywood area, so I was like, oh, this is the best gym. There was a boxing bag in there, so I was like, perfect. I remember in that time, it was when people were starting to just record things for no reason. And I just remember seeing people coming in and just recording as they were speaking. And, you know, I was just sitting there in my zone, training, you know, doing my thing to stay in shape, because I used to always like to stay in shape for my music as a singer-songwriter. And as I was doing it, I met certain people, and people were like, hey, can you help me? I'm like, yeah, for sure. One day as I was training, this kid, 17 years old, named Jake Paul, he came to me, he's like, hey, I'm looking for somebody to train me. Can you train me? And at first I was like, are you gonna pay me? He's like, yeah, I got you. I'm like, perfect, let's go. So as soon as I knew I was gonna get paid, I was like, okay, let's do this. And I wanted to test him, you know? Because, you know, I think it's important to make sure that, you know, you're doing what you need to do, and at the same time, don't waste your time, you know? So I just made that clear. I said, hey, if I'm gonna do this for you, you know, make sure you push yourself, you work hard. And he loved that. We just started working out, and he was just telling me, like, man, I wanna get in better shape. I wanna look like my brother, who is Logan. And he was already in great shape. So I was like, all right, let's work hard, let's do it. And you know, we just kept doing, you know, kept training. I started working with different people, you know, people that were living in that apartment building, which was known as 1600 Vine. I don't know if you guys ever heard of it.
I've heard of it.
It was literally where everything started. Logan Paul, King Batch, Jake, Ruli, all these guys, Lele, all these people were living there in that time, and it was just like big college family campus where everybody was just creating, you know, just kind of just living their best life. And it just started from there.
Is Jake the real deal, man? Talk to me, man. Because some of the fights he's in, you know, like, man, really, bro? You know, didn't he fight Nate Robinson? Come on, dog. Nate Robinson? I'm an ex-hooper. So, I mean, I'm like, come on.
But tell me this,
know.
before he fought him,
Yeah.
what did you think?
I used to see him in Calabasas sometimes. Like, you really trying to fight? You really trying to fight? And I was like, nah, ain't no way. But you know, the thing that I do got to take my hat off to him is that he has put in the work. You can't play boxing, you can't play football.
You can't.
Those are two sports that you get in, and maybe hockey, but you can't play boxing because you will get hurt.
That's exactly what I was just gonna share. That's one thing that I can tell everyone since day one, his work ethic. He works, because anything he does, he doesn't play to be second, third. He plays to win.
That's good.
Every time. Because he has his failures. I've seen it. I've seen many times learn about, like, okay, I gotta put in more work, and seeing him, you know, get, you know, hurt pretty bad. And he had this genius behind him about, I know I'm not the best, and I know people are gonna doubt me, but that's fine. Like for me, he always told me, hey, accountability was very important. He said, I'm gonna leave my door open every day. So if I don't wake up, you go in there and take me. You know, wake me up, because I need to be there. And it was that mentality. When times I knew he was, 21 when he was doing all this, but just kind of having to go through life and his success and still wake up and do the work, that's crazy. I believe if he's prepared and he prepares himself like the way that I know he prepares himself, he has a good shot.
I think part of the skepticism is that he's not a fighter. And there's so many kind of posers out there, right? Guys that are a fucking stand-up comedian, but they want to kind of give off the impression that they're a boxer or some shit, and they're a tough guy. And, there's a lot of kind of nonsense and bullshit. And, he comes from the background of the internet world. So you're going to doubt him. He doesn't come from a background of a fighter. Iron Mike coming up, even at his age, I got my doubts.
I get it. I mean, even myself, I love Mike Tyson. I've seen Mike Tyson do what he does. And, we're in his camp, we're his family, and I'm still like, man, God help him, make sure he's safe, because that's Mike Tyson. Yeah. Even like, I'll talk to Logan, and we'll look at each other and be like, he's crazy. Yeah. But that's who he is.
But you got to be that way.
You have to be that
way. Especially in that game. It's something there that's loose in your brain for you to be a fighter. And then for you to go against Mike Tyson.
Exactly.
Mike Tyson is Mike Tyson.
We said you could have gone like somebody else. He's like, Mike Tyson, but seeing his journey, knowing where he was 10 years ago, seeing him do this, I'm just like, I'm supporting him.
See, because at first I was like, man, who's this? What?
Yeah.
Got that chin, let's look like Mac Tonight, cross between the moon,
funny.
Half Moon, and Jay Leno and all that. You know what I'm saying? Sorry, Jay, I love you. But I mean, that chin is sticking out. Man, come on, let me just tap that real quick. But you gotta want to have that. You gotta have that hunger. But that screw's gotta be loose to even jump in there with him.
Yeah, he's someone that I just respect, and just like his whole team, just seeing everybody do their job. Right now I no longer work with Jake. I only work with Logan, but I've worked with him for almost 7 years, and just seeing everything going. There's just like the little thing that he does. Like if it's just the whole meditation, visualizing, breath work, flexibility, endurance, heart training, little things, wins wherever he can get it, he would go get it.
But he's also a goofball.
Yes, that's true.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't your car end up in a swimming pool?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, boy.
You know about this?
Yeah.
No, you
gotta tell us.
So one day, I had my car was old 94 Honda, and I remember he was like, hey, let's go out and get some Wendy's, and we went to go get some Wendy's, and it broke down on us.
Yeah.
That next day, he had an idea.
We are about to take my best friend Adan's car and sink it into this pool like this. Oh no!
He ended up, getting my keys. He was like, hey, let me move your car. We're gonna shoot a video. So I'm like, okay, they always did that, because it's like, hey, we're gonna shoot here, so just let me move your car. And I was like, all right, perfect, boom. They called me later on. They're like, hey, we want to surprise you. And I was just like, all right, let me just go with it. What is it? A cake? I don't know. Closing my eyes, and then the first thing I see is my car going into his pool. Man. That hit a nerve,
Yeah.
And I was just furious. And as soon as I seen that going, I was like, no. I look at him and he's smiling, and I'm just trying to hold it, understand. And everybody's like, Adan, it's cool. And I'm just like, what are you doing? Why are you doing that to me? And I'm just ready to just explode. And he's like, wait. And he was just like, we want to get you a car. And I was like, dang. Yeah. It was like a big switch, but yeah, he threw my car and ended up getting me a nice one.
So when the car went into the pool, I know you were saying, I ain't always been a man of God. I gotta go. This is about to come out, mother father.
Yes.
That reaction had to be priceless, bro.
Oh man, hit a nerve.
Yeah.
That I was like, I had to defend myself.
I would love to hear some of your journey from the Viners. We heard about the Vine Street Vines, and then you took a break, right, to pursue ministry?
When I met Jake and I met everyone, I was pursuing, it was music, and at the same time I was, figuring out my spirituality, where I was at. Realistically, I was looking for a place to kind of grow. This opportunity came, and it just, I seen it, and everything I make choices, I'm always like, God, if this is a place you need me to be, keep me there, if not, remove me, So that was the first thing I always had in my mind, and it got to a point where, success was happening. We were living in a Calabasas mansion, but it was also not my life, it was his life. So it was a place where I had to make a decision where I was like, okay, this is fun, this is great, but at the same time, I don't feel like I'm, living the life that I need to live. So I we would always have moments where I would talk to Jake and be like, hey, Jake, let's go for a walk. You know, and I just kind of shared with him everything. Thank you for everything. He was just like, what's going on? And I told him, hey, man, I don't know if I want to continue doing what we're at. You know, I want to go to school for ministry. It wasn't something he expected to hear. You know, it took him, like I say, long 10 minutes before he even answered. But as we were coming back to the house, he was just like, he's like, man, I respect you, and you know, if that's what you want to do, you know, like, cool. That was like the beginning of us kind of separating. In that moment, I was working with Logan and Jake, so in that time, Jake kind of went his own way. I went with Logan. Also, I started going to, you know, to Mosaic. I ended up going to Mosaic College. So I ended up going to school for ministry and continue that journey. And, you know, it's one of the best decisions I ever made.
I mean, is faith a part of you growing up? I mean, your family and whatnot is a big part of your life?
Yeah, it's always been a big part of my life. Faith has always been a big part. I grew up Catholic.
Right.
So I've always had, you know, that faith part. But I've always had a lot of questions. You know, there's so many things that I've always wanted to make sure I understood better. Growing up in Chicago and just kind of seeing certain things, growing up in, you know.
Especially
there.
Yeah.
It was just a lot of things, and I'm like, all right, I know there's more. As I was living with Jake actually came with me to Mosaic. He came for like at least like 2 months. And it was something that was very new for him. And just to see him just give his, like, surrender and kind of hear a different side of like what life is, what purpose is, was pretty cool to see.
That says a lot. Him embracing that element of a friend. That's not a small change. You know what I mean? Anyone come, because that's not something that you hear from a friend too often, that, hey, I'm going in this path, right? Yeah. And in theory, people don't know how to wrap their head around it and how to support it. So him taking those steps and coming with you, that says a lot. That tells me more about him than any training element, you know, as a man, and I appreciate that.
I feel like it's kind of opened the door for a lot. I mean, you're training a lot of people right now.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing, because as a trainer, I've always wanted to be like the best version of myself in training. So like something that came in and revealed itself was like, okay, what's the core of training, which is your core, you know? From there, it's like, okay, what controls that? Well, your mental. I was like, well, what's gonna strengthen your mental? It's your spirit. So once I understood, like, physical, okay, mental, okay, spirit, that's where I need to go. And sometimes, you know, it's one of the hardest things to do, you know, but sometimes you can just plant those seeds, you know, give them, you know, courage, wisdom.
You can't go nowhere out the spirit. That's the one that leads you. That, and everybody said, you know, oh, I have that gut feeling.
Yeah.
That's where it comes from.
Yeah.
Because a lot of stuff comes to your head. You play with your head and your mind, and you may think you're going to do something, but do you really have it in your spirit?
Sometimes it's in the spirit is in the form of someone dragging your ass out of bed 5 in the morning to go train.
Exactly.
Hey, come on, man.
Don't forget to like and subscribe and follow us on all of our socials. Thank you for tuning in to Unfiltered Smoke.
Tap the bell icon to get notified as soon as we drop new content.
There's been a lot of incidents. One that I think is quite hilarious, and I would love to get your perspective on, is the got your hat.
Oh, wow.
Let me call y'all.
I'm my own boss. I'm my own boss.
One night, got your hat.
We were getting ready for Floyd Mayweather, you know, promoting the fight. You know, everybody was giving their interviews. Me, Logan, our team were giving interviews. Jake was, you know, doing his thing. You know, we never know what that thing is. And as, you know, he's getting his interview, all we hear in the background is, Jake's getting in a fight, Jake's getting in a fight. And we just literally look to the side, and all you see is just a big bunch of people just like going crazy, and we're like, oh, that's Jake. We literally run towards there. And as we're running, all I see is one security guard that Jake had, and all these different people just coming towards him. Literally Floyd Mayweather just saying, I'm gonna mess you up, this and that. And as they were running, you see that security guard just move. I literally had Logan with me, and Logan was literally gonna go just take care of his, like, try to save his brother. You know, he's like, if he's getting beat up, I'm gonna get beat up with him. Like, I'm gonna save him. And I'm just like, everybody's trying to grab him, and he's just breaking through, and I literally grab him, he looks at me, and I'm like, I got you. Don't hurt yourself. And as he gets it, I think somebody else grabs him, he kind of calms down. I run, and I literally crawl under these guys. I barricade myself, and I just go in there and like go in and just like barricade Jake, just kind of guiding him to get out of there. It could have went so crazy, but in that moment, I was like, God, like, protect us. So as that time too, I had people scratching me, trying to punch me, punch Jake, and I'm just staying calm. And little by little, we get out, you know. He gets into this janitor closet, hides in there. Mayweather's on the other side, just furious, going crazy. I'm gonna, you know, kill you, this and that. He got that hat, literally was able to sell merchandise within a couple of hours. And I think like sell out. It was like something crazy. They had shirts, hats. He was just on top of things. Mayweather actually hit him, like popped him hard, ripped his shirt and everything. After that, he had his team moving. Hey, let's get this whole gotcha hat. Boom, boom, boom. Started selling them.
Wow. Brilliant.
Just brilliant, yeah.
Capitalizing on it, like.
Give me a little insight on Ryan Garcia, man. What's the deal with Rhino, man? I like the kid, man.
Yeah, realistically, only good things. Yeah. Like, every time I've been with him, like we've trained, we've done some training. He's come to our camp, Logan's camp. Just a good kid, a good dude. There's a lot of things that's been happening, and real talk, I do respect that he's being vocal. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think there's things that people may need to hear and put into perspective, because there's some things that may need to be talked about. I wish I could be there with him right now and get more out, but I just feel like he needs some help. He needs some good people in him.
That's what I'm saying. It sounds like that he's crying out for help. Nobody really knows how to give it to him.
Yeah.
So, you see that with downfall with some athletes. You see things and people judge you off of your behavior or what they see on TV. They don't really know you.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It ain't even like that. They look at me sometimes my facial expressions, and they're like, man, why is he mad? I'm not mad. I'm a big teddy bear, bro. Exactly. I love everybody. So I understand that,
Yeah.
But yeah, he needs that though, bro.
There's a lot into his story. It's very complex. Every time I've seen him, he has heart. He works hard. Like, I know his family, his brother, his dad, and they're a family that worked hard to be where they're at.
Yeah.
He's put in his years.
People forget that.
Yeah, people forget
They just
that.
kind of like, we all kind of root for the downfall almost. And it's like, come on.
Because you're seeing the persona, right? You're seeing what he wants you to see. If you kind of peel back the onion layers, man.
There's more to the story.
So much more.
So much more to the story. So yeah, I mean, it's. I feel like right now we're gonna be able to unfold and understand that. But I hope he has good people now. Yeah. But just in the times when certain incidents happens, I just feel like maybe he just needed help. He just needed people in his corner. But outside of that, also great fighter. He's put in his years. People, actual fighters can tell you he can fight.
What's like the next step, or what's the next level that you're hoping to go to? Or
one thing that I never want to stop is fighting. My biggest thing, like right now, I just got my new line that says nada to fear.
Hey.
Living a life with nada to fear.
4X, please.
But it also say Philippians 4:13.
That's big, baby.
Yes, sir.
That's right.
I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. That is just something that I feel like when you don't live in fear, you fight. You know what I mean? And what is the biggest fight? Good against evil. So that's my fight. I'm also right now, I don't know if I mentioned to you, but I'm a youth pastor. I feel like the youth now have gone through so much. You know what I mean?
Given that we're in such a kind of immediate satisfaction, the dopamine fix, right? Not just as a country, but just we've kind of gotten away from faith. I'm just curious, for someone who's a youth pastor, do you find that they're more receptive? Are they open to it?
The youth, when I first started talking to them, it was right after pandemic.
Jeez.
And the kids were just like, they gave me that face like, I want to punch you in the face, Literally, I was forced to be here, and now I got to listen to you. But then you hear stories months after that, years after that, and they're like, Pastor Adan, thank you so much. Hey, I needed to hear that. And I was like, you actually remember that? I was like, wow, I forgot. So I just think it's more about myself, this I see, just being obedient. And if I feel and I hear God say, hey, go, you just got to go. And when that person's ready to receive, that's when he's ready.
And it's similar to, in the sense that you, like in training, you have to want it. I'm not gonna, from day one in that gym, I'm not just gonna like spoon feed you. You have to want this. And if you don't want this, I don't wanna like waste my time.
But that's what it is. It's the long game. Yes. In both instances, right? Yeah. Both in the training, you preach patience without preaching patience when it comes to the training. And I feel like faith in a lot of ways comes down to that too.
What advice would you give to like up and coming boxers or influencers?
I love that people are being open and going after their gifts, going after their talents. I would say as you go after certain things, understand how you can help somebody else. I think that's the moment you're able to see past you and start thinking about, let me influence people because I need to influence people, they're gonna be able to be used. So I feel like if they can step into that picture of like, let me see outside of me, how can I serve? Like just a simple thing like that. As an influencer, I'm influencing, who am I influencing? Yeah. You know, and I would say like, if you really wanna be an influencer, which is a leader, who's that one person that you're really leading? You know, start with one person, check up on them, see where they're at, ask them questions.
One of the things I try to work on in my personal life too is like attacking things in the opposite spirit. So if I'm feeling like uber greedy, I need to give something away. If I'm feeling like just like anger, I need to just go love on like, you know, my kids, you know, and just like, because it's like you're feeling one way and you know, like emotionally, spiritually, physically, you're gonna drive into that. But like, I'm like, the opposite of greed is to give.
Reiner, that's really, I'm gonna use that in my life because I do something similar, but like at the gym. Any day I wake up, and I'm not some big workout guy or whatever, but if I really don't feel like doing shit that day, I tell myself, this is the day I really need to go in. You know what I mean? Which I kind of like it because what you were saying, like with the kids and everything, that's more of like the mental, and then you're touching on the spiritual side, but all three of them are equally important. All three of them are. It's
that mentality when you're able to be in a place where you're not at your best and you get to make the decision of like, wait, this is where it really matters. Yeah. You know, when things are difficult and hard, that's who you really show who you are, you know?
That's the real you that comes out.
Yeah.
Definitely the real you that comes out.
Thank you so much for coming in and sharing wisdom, dropping knowledge. Man, we as outsiders, like we see these guys in these fights and we see these athletes at, you know, most of the time at their worst because of social media and everything. But like it is awesome to know that there's like someone with character, someone that is like, I'm not just gonna help you get that paycheck and the fame and the whatever, like I'm gonna help you like sustain and be a man of character, being a person of character that is gonna just impact even more so. Not many people know that side of Jake and Logan and all these guys, and the fact that like you're in their corner, that you're there with them. And so one of my last questions, what's your prediction on the fight?
Oh, wow. Yeah.
On the spot, baby, on the spot.
I think the biggest thing is who's preparing himself the best. I hope Mike Tyson is preparing himself. I know Jake is preparing himself. If that person, whoever prepares himself, they have the upper hand. I think Jake has a good possibility to win, you know, even to knock him out. And it's also, you know, we have to be honest, like he's also fighting a Mike Tyson that's way older, you know, and that's something that, you know, we're all human. But we'll see. But not to take away, I'll say this: Mike Tyson can still knock him out.
Oh, fuck yeah.
If he catches him,
I
think that's going to be a big thing. It's going to give Jake that opportunity to level up, because he's going to get hit and he's going to be in a position where he's like, I can go down right now, or I can keep fighting. You know what I mean?
I want to see in that fight, and this is the thing for me: stand there and fight. Stand there and fight. Don't run around that damn ring. You done said what you said. He's older. All the hype. Stand there and fight. You know, that's what I like. I want you gonna say something.
If he's gonna knock him
out, no. The point is this: stand there and fight. Not if he's gonna knock him out and this, that, and the other. You will find out who has trained harder, who is in it for just the check, who's not in for the check. Stand there like they had put that one foot in that tire.
Yep.
You know what it is.
Yep.
You know what it is, put that one foot, you can't move.
You have no choice but get hit.
I've been through that several times, and I'm like, yeah, okay, well, you better do it, or you're gonna lay down.
Exactly.
Find the corner to go lay in. I want to see what it is.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks, brother.
Of course, man.
Appreciate that, man.
Always,
I appreciate that, man.
I wanted to ask you one more thing from all of us. And normally when we have a stick or we have a cigar with someone, we always close it out with, if you could have a cigar with anyone in history, who would it be and why? But in your case, if you could have similar discussion, anybody in history, who would it be and why?
I'm gonna just go there. It'll be Jesus.
Simple.
Drop the mic.
Right there.
JC.
I think
baby.
that would be the one. I mean, it's always been a question for me too. Like if I could ever go back to one place, I've always said I just want to be in that room, just to feel. You know, because I've been in a ring with Mayweather, and that was like wow. You know. Right. I can't even imagine being in a room with Jesus. Like that's crazy.
I was gonna go a different direction and say if there's one person in history that you ever wanted to spar with.
Muhammad Ali.
Dang. Okay.
We've gotten like 3 Muhammad Ali answers.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it.
See,
For
I would
different
be
reasons.
like, I would pick like Steve Urkel or something. Like personally.
I met Steve Urkel.
See, when you said who you're gonna spar, I thought a Fight Club. I'm like, is he gonna say Lincoln or like what is he gonna come at me with right now? But
For me, he's one of the best. And just to be able to be in the ring, you learn so much when you're in the ring, you know?
Yeah.
That's it.
That's my answer.
Appreciate it, man.
Don, appreciate you, man.
Thank you very
brother.
much.
Thank you for having me.
Man, best
Once
success
again,
to you, bro.
what's the name of your clothing line?
Nada to fear.
Nada
Not
to
of the fear.
Nada to fear. So
Nothing
it's
to
also
fear.
something that is pretty much the name of my dad, myself, and my son, which is Adan backwards.
Oh,
That's right.
shit. Okay.
Right on.
dope.
Right on.
Yeah.
What's dope?
Thank you.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you for having
Thank
me.
you.
All right.
Don't filter the smoke, baby.
What's up, guys? My name is Adan Castillo. Watch Behind the Scenes on Patreon right now.